Good evening, everyone. Hello. We're about to get started. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Shanna Hutton. I'm with Positive Community Kitchen. This is this month's installment of our Nourish class. And these classes are meant to educate and inspire you to utilize fresh, healthy ingredients in your own kitchen and maybe start thinking about ingredients in different ways and how you can be innovative with new and fresh recipes. So tonight, when I was formulating these recipes for tonight, it was last week when it was 90 degrees, and I was thinking we would be celebrating the end of summer, but apparently we're celebrating the beginning of fall. But in relation to that, we are going to be featuring the peach tonight, and the peach always kind of, it's a bittersweet fruit to me because I know that the peach comes at the end of the summer and fall is upon us. And me being a summer baby, I just absolutely love the sun. And so it's, even though I love peaches, it's always a little sad for me because I know that fall is upon us and so is the rain. And so tonight we are going to be making two different recipes with this peach. We're going to be making a grilled peach black rice and arugula salad that features some goat cheese and some delicious dressing, as well as a ginger, peach, and coconut freeze, so almost like a granita of sorts. And that's a wonderful recipe for for dessert or for a fresh and sweet treat at the end of the day. So to start off, I'm going to start with grilling my peaches. Now I have this grill pan here. You could do it on a regular grill, or you can do it on your stove top like I'm doing here. If you don't have a grill pan, you can always saute them in a saute pan as well. So to start off, we're going to take our peach, and peaches have a stone. They're a stone fruit. They have a stone inside, or large seed inside that's somewhat oblong, and it follows the line, this indication line here is how it follows. And so usually how I cut peaches is I cut around that side, just like that. So I took off one part of the cheek here, and then I go after the other side and kind of feel with I'm able to feel with my knife where that pit is. And then I can easily slice off the other two sides like that. And what I'm left with is some beautiful chunks of peaches here. Peaches are highly nutritious. They have lots of antioxidants and vitamins in there, and they're actually surprisingly really low in calories. We're having all of that natural sweetness. It's a really great fruit to add to your snacking or to your diet, just because they only have about 68 to 70 calories per peach, which in relation to other fruit is actually quite minimal. So we're going to take our peaches, and what I love about this recipe, you don't have to add this extra element of grilling these peaches, but it really does intensify that sweetness. It caramelizes the outside, and it really makes it really delicious. So we're going to add some olive oil onto our peaches, and then we're going to sprinkle them with a little salt. Even though we have this sweetness, they're going into a savory salad, so we're trying to kind of intermingle those flavors. So we have our grill pan, which is hot. I see it's smoking a little bit over there. And then I'm just going to give this a little toss to make sure that all of the peaches are coated in that olive oil, which is, again, going to help not allow it to stick to the pan, especially with all those sugars that's going to be caramelized. So I'm just going to lay the flesh part on this grill pan, like so. What you're looking for is really those grill marks. What's important here is to use peaches that aren't necessarily all the way ripe. You still want a firm texture there, because otherwise they're going to fall apart on this heat. So you still want a little bit of underripe peach here. And what that allows is it allows that peach to really grab a hold, or those sugars to really grab a hold of that grill pan and start to caramelize, but also you still want that firm texture on the inside. So I'm going to let these go for a little bit, and we're going to start on the first process of our granita. So I have here, let me make sure this is turned on, some water. Now water, the importance of hydration, and this is a wonderfully hydrating sweet treat that you can have at the end of the day. It's important on summer days to make sure that you're hydrated, but it's also important on rainy days like this to make sure that you're hydrated. Water is truly the fountain of youth. It can really help cure many ailments that most of us feel. I mean, so much of how we feel and what we look like on the outside is dictated by what we intake as far as what we drink and what we eat. And if you think of the difference between a raisin and a grape, water really helps flush out the toxins. And without water within our cells, especially our skin cells, without water, that toxic load can start to build up. And that's the environment that creates a lot of diseases and illnesses. So if you remain hydrated and you're able to flush out those toxins from your cells, it will help you live a healthier life. So we're going to add some water into our pan. And to this, we're going to start adding some flavorings. Now I'm going to add half a lemon. The lemon's going to add some freshness and some brightness to those sweetness of the peaches. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to add, what I'm using for a sweetener here is monk fruit. Monk fruit has gained a lot of popularity, especially with the keto diet and low carb diets, because it's 0 calories, but it doesn't affect your glycemic index. It is made from a fruit in Asia that looks similar to a melon, and it was used in as an herbal treatment or an herbal cure by monks, which is hence why it's called monk fruit. But now these days we use it as a sweetener that you can add on top of lots of things, and they make different products of it that does a 1-to-1 ratio. It is very, very sweet, so it's like 200 times sweeter than what sugar is, and so you only need a little bit when you add it. So I'm going to add maybe about half a tablespoon here. If you didn't want to utilize monk fruit, you could utilize honey, or I see these beautiful grill marks on these peaches, so I'm just going to start to turn these. I'm smelling that sugar that's starting to caramelize. It somewhat smells like peach ice cream where I'm at. And I'm just flipping over the fleshy parts, really getting a good coloration on the peaches. Lovely. Beautiful. Move those around a little bit because my concentration of heat is centered here and centered here. So I'm realizing that my peaches in the middle aren't getting very cooked. So I'm going to put those over onto the side. Okay, so back to my monk fruit. I'm going to add about half a tablespoon to this mixture here. There we go. And I'm also adding some vanilla. That vanilla is a flavor enhancer, so it's going to help to enhance that sweetness of the peaches. And we're also going to add ginger. Ginger is an amazing root that can really help with easing digestive issues, but it also has an anti-inflammatory benefit. So adding it to your diet is highly beneficial, especially raw ginger, especially around this time of the fall where the weather starts to cool down and people start to get sick a little bit more. Just having a little bit of ginger in your diet can really help ward off colds and flus and that sort of thing. So I have a little small nub here that I'm going to add into my water. There we go. And then from that, I have some frozen peaches. Now you could use regular peaches, or fresh peaches if you wanted to here. I'm using frozen peaches for convenience and the fact that they're already peeled. But if you wanted to, you could definitely do the work yourself. Frozen peaches, frozen fruit in general, is a really great way to preserve fruit, because usually fruit is frozen at the height of its ripeness, so the height of where all of the nutritional benefits come from. And it's a great way to add wonderful nutrients along with being able to preserve peaches or berries or whatever it is into those winter months when you don't have access to them on a seasonal basis. So I've turned off the heat to my water here, and I'm just going to add my frozen peaches into this mixture. And what you're looking for, you're not really looking to cook these peaches, but you want them to thaw through. So we're just going to mix that in with our warm water and just wait for maybe about 10 minutes or so while those peaches thaw. And so from there, I'm going to take a look. From there, I'm going to take a look at these beautiful peaches here and see where we're at. Looking pretty good. Got some gorgeous color. I'm going to move some of the ones that I feel are done to the center, since that's where I feel like they won't get as much heat, and maybe move the ones that aren't quite done over to where the heat is a little bit more predominant. Okay, so from here, while I'm putting the rest, I'm going to actually turn off my heat so I don't end up overcooking those peaches, maybe. Okay, excellent. All right, so we're going to move on to our dressing. I have a little mason jar here. I love to make homemade dressings, and for the most part, I try and make as much of my dressings at home because I don't necessarily want all of those preservatives that are in the store-bought bottles. And super easy dressing here. So we've got apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar also has some really great anti-inflammatory benefits and some great digestive benefits as well. So we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of this apple cider vinegar. Excellent. And then we're going to add about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard is going to add a flavor element here that's really quite lovely, but mostly it's going to really help emulsify that vinegar with that oil. Pardon me. It's getting down to the last bottle there. And then again, we're going to add some maple syrup. This maple syrup is going to highlight a lot of the sweetness that's within those peaches and really kind of help round out those flavors. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. And I've got some olive oil that I'm also going to add. I'm not adding a ton of olive oil here. Olive oil is very, very beneficial for you, but I don't necessarily want all of that fat within my dressing. And so I'm going to add about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons, somewhere thereabouts. And then to this, we have our shallots. Now I've minced these shallots fairly finely just because I don't like it when you take a bite of salad and you have this huge raw shallot, a bite of raw shallot. Shallots are related to onions. They look like this right here. They have somewhat what I think is a little bit milder flavor than an onion does, so I think they're great to add to dressings because you get that flavor of that onion that everybody loves, but it's not as intense and it's not like a punch in your face type of flavor. So a little bit milder. And then I'm going to add some salt and some pepper. Now if you wanted to here, I'm not going to do it just because I know that there might be some people in the audience that's a little averse to it, but I love to add some cayenne pepper, like maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon in here because we have the sweetness of the peaches, and then we have some other elements. We've got some bitterness from the greens we're going to add. We have that nuttiness from the black rice that we're going to add. Just a little bit of background heat really kind of balances all that out nicely. Now if you're averse to it, then it's completely optional. Alright, from here, what I love about doing the mason jar dressing is you pop on the lid and you shake it up. And then you're done. So we're going to save that here. I'm going to grab my beautiful bowl and start assembling our salad. Lovely. So I have a beautiful salad bowl. I love to do my beautiful food and present it in beautiful things, just because presentation never hurt anything. So, I have some arugula here. I'm highlighting arugula in this recipe. I love arugula. I'm a spicy person, so I really like kind of that back heat that the arugula lends to the flavor. If you didn't like arugula or you didn't have it on hand, you could feel free to use any green that's within your refrigerator. Spinach works really nicely, green leaf lettuce, kale, baby kale would work really nicely as well. But we just want to get that really intense nutritional benefit from these leafy green vegetables. So we've got our arugula, which is looking lovely. Now I'm going to dress this in stages because I want everything to be highlighted with that dressing. So I have the arugula here, and I'm just going to utilize a portion of our dressing on the arugula, and then mix it through, just like that, okay? Now to add to this arugula, we are going to highlight some black rice. Now this is a rice that was found in Asia, but what is very rare up until recently. Now you can find it pretty much at every market, but it's also known as forbidden rice because way back, centuries back, because it was such a rare rice, only royalty were actually able to eat it. So it was forbidden for all of the common folk. So, but it really does have a great nutritional profile. Basically, my rule of thumb for rice is the darker the rice, the more benefits it has for you. So white rice has basically been stripped of all nutritional benefits. It has no germ, it has no endosperm, and so it's really not all that nutritionally great for you. If you move on to brown rice, you have now the endosperm and the germ that's included with that whole grain, and so you have more fiber, you have more protein. Black rice, wild rice, has double the amount of fiber and double the amount of protein than brown rice, and it has far more nutritional benefits. And so basically, I love to utilize it within my recipes because not only is it delicious, but it also has some really great health benefits and some really high antioxidant components to it. So I have my black rice here, and I'm going to flavor this black rice a little bit with a little of that dressing. Again, bringing in all of those, marrying all of those flavors. And just mix it around. And part of the reason why I love black rice too is I feel like if you're doing a really lovely, colorful dish, which I tend to do just because I do believe in eating the rainbow, the black rice really highlights that color. You know, you're putting it on a canvas that really knocks it out of the park. So we've got our black rice here, and now we're going to add our peaches, which are lovely. And we have that beautiful caramelization. You can see it on the side there. And they're going to be nice and caramelized on the outside and beautifully tender on the inside. Excellent. Beautiful. So then from here, I'm just going to add just another element of that dressing on top of these peaches. Like so. Perfect. So is anyone opposed to goat cheese on top of the salad? So as an optional add-in, I would love to add some goat cheese on top of the salad, but if there was someone in the audience that was averse to it, I would leave it off to the side and you could add it if you wanted to. Are you? Okay, perfect. I'm glad I asked. So what you're left with here is a gorgeous bowl full of some beautiful colors, including those caramelized peaches and the black rice and the highlight of the green from the arugula. And so now is the fun part, and you get to try it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our other recipe and continue on making our ginger peach freeze, which I like to call Ginger's Peach from Gilligan's Island because of the coconut element. It really does add kind of a tropical feel to it. So we have had our peaches steeping in our water mixture here that's been marinated with some ginger and some of our other flavors that we put in there. And so what we're doing there is we're just trying to marry all of those flavors together before we add them into our blender. So we're going to take our peach mixture and add it into our blender like so. And then I'll put the lid on it. It shouldn't be too warm at this point in time because those peaches were, they were frozen, and so it definitely lost a lot of the heat that it was in there before. So pardon me for just 1 second while I whirl this around. Okay, so from here I have about 3/4 cups of coconut milk that I'm going to add to this. This is completely optional. If you don't want to add it, or you don't have it on hand, you don't need to add it. But I love the creaminess that it adds, but also that other element of coconut that kind of reminds me of being on the beach. Once this gets processed till it's very smooth, so what you're going to get is you're going to get a flat bottom baking pan like this, and you're going to pour the mixture into the flat bottom pan. The more shallow the pan, the better, or the more space that it has to kind of maneuver through, just because if it's too deep of a pan, it's going to be really hard to scrape that fork because you want it more of a granita style. So what you're going to do here is once you get it into the pan, you're going to put it into your freezer for about 3 to 4 hours at least, until it's frozen solid. And then once you pull it out, you take a fork and you simply scrape. Like so. And what you're left with is this really delicious, highly nutritious, very hydrating little summer treat. I can already smell that ginger and that coconut coming from here, along with the sweetness of those peaches. So lovely. So you get to a spot like this, and you can serve this up in a dish with a little slice of fresh peach if you want. And I'll let you all have a chance to try this as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed our little feature of the peach today. And does anybody have any questions in regards to these recipes or any other recipe that you might have in mind in making at home? Yes?
Seems like there's a lot of room for creativity in both of these recipes.
It very much so. So the comment was, it seems like there's a lot of room for creativity in these recipes, and as I always say within my cooking, like this is meant to be inspirational. So if you wanted to add strawberries to that granita, you could definitely do so. If you wanted to add some different vegetables to that salad, you could definitely do so. You could replace those peaches with a different fruit if you wanted to. So really, this is just meant for inspiration. Take the recipe home with you and make it your own, because everybody has a different palate, and everybody comes up with different ideas and how they can utilize them. Good. I'm so glad you enjoy it. So the recipes, I have little recipes cards over here on the side table for you if you'd like to take one on your way out. Also, all of the recipes are housed on our website, which is nourishfoodforlife.com. And within that website, not only are these recipes highlighted, but also all the recipes that we've had throughout these cooking demonstrations in the past. And so if you're looking for a resource to help you gain some more inspiration in how to utilize fresh ingredients within your own kitchen, it's definitely a great website to go to. All right, well, thank you everyone for coming and cooking with me tonight. I always love cooking with you, and I'm just so thrilled, especially when I love seeing the new faces, but I love seeing those that have come back, because I realize that maybe you have been inspired and you have gleaned some knowledge and some more education. So it's really heartwarming to me, and I'm very, very much inspired, and I'm very honored to be in front of you cooking with you tonight. So thank you very much for being here.